Welcome to Force for Growth Live. I'm Ricardo.
I'm Courtney. Happy Monday. And today we are going to take up the very fun subject of unexpected lessons from Snowmageddon. So
Boom!
let's get started.
Make sure you like and share this video. Share, share, share because we want to get this out. We want to put some good content out there for everyone and we want to inspire people. Yeah. So,
Yes.
what? Oh, man, my phone just came on. That's what happens when we're live.
We want to hear your lessons. So we want to hear your feedback, your lessons. So drop us a comment with either, I don't know, something you were not quite as grateful as you should have been for, or something, another human kindness moment that just lit your heart on fire. So share it with us, drop it below. We want to focus on that life happens for us, not to us. So that's why we are going to be going over our best lessons from this last week and how that makes us better moving forward.
Let's do it, Courtney.
Yes.
Okay. So, I got one.
Okay.
I got one. So first of all, I don't know what we're gonna call this whole thing that happened in Texas. We're gonna call it what Snowmageddon 2021.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you know what? Here's the thing: for everyone who's tuning in, regardless of when you're tuning in, unexpected things happen in life. Unexpected things happen. That's just a part of life. That the unexpected is expected to happen, and you can either choose to learn from it, have a lesson from it, improve your life from these unexpected situations, or you can just be like, oh, that's just another thing, and just go ahead and continue on the way you've been living. We're choosing to learn the lessons, to learn the observations that we learned through this time. And here it is.
I'm sorry. I had to laugh because Jessie commented. She's like, it's technically called Storm Uri. Thank you, Jessie, for being the reason
Store.
it's
Okay, well,
logic.
thank you. So the first one, my little boy, my 7.5-year-old boy, when we first started, he was kind of freaked out a little bit, and his biggest priority was Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi. When is my Wi-Fi coming back? Why's my Wi-Fi down? We're like, bro, we're sitting in the dark, and you're worried about Wi-Fi? Come on, man. Come on. And so as we went through the progress, um, he started to appreciate when we got Wi-Fi. He started to appreciate that when we had electricity. He started to appreciate that we had food. And it was just a great transformation to see. And then the other one was my dogs. Man, when that snow came down, whew, they walked out there, they looked, and they were like, not sure. They would put their little paw out, and then they would put it back in, and they would put their paw out, they would pull it back in, they would pull their paw out and check it all about and do the
Yeah.
hokey poke in. I don't know. Either way, but they were very hesitant. By the end of it, by day 4, they were just like out there running around in circles. We're like, come in, it's cold.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but they were just all like the adaptation that we have as humans, that these animals, that our pets have. I mean, talk about adapting. We
Yeah.
have to learn to adapt.
Yeah, I mean, one of my schnauzer, he wouldn't even go out if it's cold. Like he has a magical bladder when it's cold. He's like, "Nope, I'm good. I'm good." And so it was a hard one. Like anyway, he loves his sweaters. He likes his t-shirts, things like that. So I've had to bundle him up, but I don't know. I can't imagine. I don't have children myself, but would you talk a little bit more about y'all? Y'all had a sweet story that Jesse shared this morning, and you don't have to go into that if you don't want to, but basically about Sebastian getting to witness others in much more dire need. And he had a connection with another kiddo and another family that y'all happen to be helping. And I guess I'll tell you what I took away from that story this morning. And
All right, let me
sorry.
share. Let me share the
Yeah.
story first. Let me share the story first. So another thing that happened today was, well, not today. Another lesson that came about from this unexpected experience that we had. Another great unexpected lesson was, like I said earlier, why Sebastian was all concerned about his Wi-Fi. He was worried about his Wi-Fi. That was his priority, which is fine. He's so dependent on it. I can understand that that was his priority. However, yesterday, was it Saturday? Saturday, we started to kind of get feelers out there because we have a nonprofit here in North Texas, and we wanted to step up and make a difference because we're seeing the food banks, we're seeing the grocery stores, we're seeing people who literally lost everything. And we're like, okay, if we can just help 5, 10 families this weekend, that's a win. That's a win. We don't need to help 100 families. Let's just help 5 families. That's 5 less families that will go hungry today if we go out there and do something, if we go out there and help. Great. Perfect. So I put out some feelers. The first, we got a response from someone who actually came to Baskets last year in 2020 and volunteered. They came out there for 3 days. They brought their kids, they brought their family, and it was wonderful to see them.
And those
And
kids and every member hustled the entire time. They were such great help, such great help.
yes, and they had a little girl, and Sebastian was enamored by the little girl, to say the least. He was like, "Oh, she's so pretty. She's so pretty. I love her." We're like, "Wait a minute, hold up. First of all, that's another show." We were like, "Hold up. First of all, you're not in love, but okay, whatever." So they reached out because they needed assistance. So they're on our mailing list, they're on our text list. So they reached out. They're like, "Hey, can you please help us?" So of course, so we helped them, and they called yesterday, and the mom was calling, and she was just being very appreciative and explaining what was going on. She was telling us that her house flooded and that they lost all their food. Like there's just an amount of, I can't even go into detail, water damage and all that kind of stuff. And Sebastian was sitting there listening, and he was just like, "What? What?" So after the call, we had a conversation with him, and we told him, we were like, "See, remember the little girl that you thought was pretty from Baskets?" She's like, "Yeah, her house flooded. They didn't have food. And you were sitting here worried about Wi-Fi." And so it was really one of these big lessons for him, where we saw the dots connect. When you're talking to somebody, not even just a kid, but when you're talking to someone and you see the dots connect, we saw the dots connect for him. And that was, we're talking about unexpected lessons, but that was an unexpected, beautiful moment with him.
Yeah. I could tell both how you and Jesse described it. It was very special.
It was
That was
significant.
yeah.
It was significant.
This
I struggled with day one and day two, Courtney.
I struggled. Okay, so because it was the question you asked me, like, hey, on Monday we're going to talk about an unexpected lesson. So I hadn't really given a lot of thought to it, but to be fair, my lesson happened that prior Thursday. Um, that prior Thursday was the day of the 135 car pileup that left, I
Mm,
believe, 7 dead as far as the
yes.
total. The Black Ice event in Fort Worth on I-35, and I've worked fatality accidents, and you never shake that, and you're just the agent. You can't take the pain away. You can't make a coverage make something better. Like every other time in my career, you're covered. Don't worry. Let's get a claim file. There's anyway, sorry, just emotion, but
It's
there's
okay.
just no words to describe that emotion, and you feel helpless to help these families. And so it took anyway, just that Thursday night, I finally started looking a lot of the news footage, and just I couldn't stop crying and couldn't stop, and just it so that's a big one that I just remember when I got the first call and worked the first accident like that. It's like the world is moving like normal for everyone else, but there's this pocket of people that life will never be the same, not for better. And so basically it just really, so I had a very, I don't know, it humbled me. It shook me up to my core. I wasn't me for a few days just because I emotionally couldn't find my equilibrium. And then it just kept happening, right? And so we went into survival mode. We have canned food. We prepped in certain ways for other things just to feel comfortable, our water supply, things like that. But heat was something else. So one day I got to sit 5 hours, 5 hours to get propane, and but I had to be resourceful. It was on a work day. Mike's a plumber. To say the plumbing company is as busy as it ever has been would be a drastic understatement. And by we, it's my sister, her husband, and Mike. they can't keep the voicemails checked. They can't keep the voicemail box from being full. And mind you, it holds 100 voicemails. So, I mean, just to watching and supporting them, just trying to create an environment so they can come home, rest for a few hours, get back out to their next job to save people, it really made me appreciate the skills and the survival. There, I don't know. There, our houses aren't built. It takes you back to what is prepared. What is prepared? Because before 2 weeks ago, we'd say our houses are built great here. We're prepared. We're prepared for anything that can hit Texas. This is going to change how our homes are built. It's going to change how we insulate our plumbing. It's going to change possibly how the foundation is built because in talking to a lot of northerners, they don't have slab foundations. So it all comes into play. And so this is going to change and start a ripple in so many things in so many different ways, but it really begs the question is what is prepared? We thought we were prepared. I forgot the heat element. And, what if our water's gone, our water supply? It's just some big questions. And I don't know. So just I'm taking that wisdom into this and like, okay, well, what more can I prepare? What more can I prepare? And some great things were shared this morning that Ryan, I wrote down when you said it's kind of cool to see what I was capable of. Thought that was a cool comment. And then Jesse said it in a very uplifting way. She's like, it's kind of cool. I get to think outside the box. And so those were just two comments that they're very positive ways to look at the situation. So I wanted to share those because those made an impact with me this morning. But
I love that Ryan said it, because this whole month we've been talking about excuses, right? We've been talking about excuses. He's like, if this was a class
yeah.
in excuses and this was the end of the semester, the lessons from last week were the final exam.
Yeah, exactly. It's like God couldn't have given us a better final exam for a month on studying our own excuses, right? So,
Correct.
and then Suresh came back and said he made, he was talking about his experience with his family. They made it an experience. It's snow, it's adventurous. Make it an adventure. Camp in
Yes.
your house. It's not ideal situations, but you can make it an experience, an adventure.
What a great reframe.
Yeah.
Talk about a great reframe.
Yeah.
Instead of, yes, it wasn't ideal. It wasn't great. Yes, there were some things that happened that were beyond our control. But to say that it's an experience, an adventure versus a catastrophe, it gives you a different light on things.
Yeah.
It gives you a different light. And you talked about being prepared and acknowledging how things are. And the first thing that came to mind when you were talking about Mike and the situations and all these other things is gratitude. Like, talk about a big lesson in gratitude.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially because to be fair, we were having some relationship arguments this week before. And so I'm not going to get into details just out of respect but like, it's interesting the timing of things happening when you need to have things clarified or when you need to have I don't know, just things revealed to you or you both grow to a different level, And so there's a lot to be said as far as just the respect each of us have for each other because we came together even though our situation was less than ideal. But you know what? We're a team. We have more resources together. We have more power together. With more love together. So let's, figure this out together. And it was extremely healing, of course,
That's good.
to finish out the week and just
So much
all of these
gratitude for
things.
that, right? So much gratitude for the
Yeah.
situation. I mean, even if our house would have flooded, I'm glad that it didn't. But even if it would have flooded, it would have been like, man, at least I have a house to flood.
Yeah.
Like, there was people out in the streets, there was people clamoring to get into homeless shelters and things like that. And
Yeah.
so even if my house flooded, even if we had busted pipes, it would have been like, man, you know what? It's a good problem to have.
Even
It's a good problem to have.
the prisons aren't necessarily equipped with heaters like we would assume. So there's a lot of a lot of folks out there that have it a lot worse than us. And so keep your hands open to where you can be a resource for them. I'm not saying hand them money, although if that's an option,
Do
look
it.
for the most effective ways to hand them money. But you have resources that just connecting with another person and being in that moment with them and listening to them, and really hearing them, you can offer them a resource. And that might just be a hug,
Yeah.
that goes a long way too. So,
And even if you can help one person, just one person, that's one less person that's struggling right now.
yeah. Yep.
That's one less person. You don't have to go out there and help 100. You don't have to go help 1,000. I mean, if you looked at the uh, the food bank in Tarrant County, like they were lined up in droves.
Yeah.
Think about the elderly who don't have cars to get out there. Think about the people whose car froze over and is out of commission. They can't even get to the food bank to stay in line.
Mhm.
They might not even have the gas to stay in line that long.
That's another, yeah, because gas was a panic, and then as well, just a lot of mechanical issues happen when cars aren't used
Yeah.
to this kind of cold.
So if you can just help one person with food, and that's what I kept on thinking about this weekend. If we can just help one family with food, that's one less family that will go hungry this weekend.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, you don't have to do a whole bunch. We're a small nonprofit and we do the best that we can. But if we just help one family, that's one less family that's going to be hungry. That's one less kid that's going to have food on the table,
I was
even if
really
it is cold cereal.
Yeah. When you said if we can only help 5 or 10 families this weekend, I do want to highlight how proud I am of you and Jesse, because once upon a time there wouldn't have been resources or, availability of resources to give at random times throughout the year, because it says a lot to y'all's preparation and what y'all built and the consistency of the 6-7 years you've been working on it, and that when this was unexpected and y'all had resources and funds because y'all prepared properly and kept the focus in the right spot to help. And so it would have been a giant help to the world if y'all said, if we can just find one family to help feed,
Correct.
if we can just find one. But you said it so easy, 5 to 10. And of course your standards are high, keep them up, but I just want to honor that and honor
Oh,
y'all's effort, because y'all built that and y'all prepared, and that just these times will make us even more prepared, where next time you're going to say 20 families in a weekend, but it's growing. And so that just reminder, I can start that same type thing right now. Thank y'all for letting me be a part of it, but as well, you can start your own ripple. So don't think you have to have X amount of money to do anything. Just, you have
correct.
2 hands, get out and go help,
Go
you know?
help. I mean, that's one of the big things that I saw also on Facebook in the world. Another great unexpected lesson, another great unexpected observation, another great unexpected moment of gratitude. So many unexpecteds, right? Was
Mhm.
just people helping people get out of their house, people helping people defrost this, people helping people get power, people helping people get firewood. No one was talking about, is your favorite color blue or red? It didn't
Right?
matter. It was just like, do you need help? Okay, cool. I'm gonna go help you.
That's true. That's something I haven't seen a political argument pop up in over a week. I hadn't thought about that.
No,
Way to go, Texas.
I
Good
know,
job.
right? Like, way to go, Texas.
Yeah. Uh,
Like
yeah.
Texas is just like, hold my beer. Hey, you want me to put a stop to all this political nonsense for at least a week? Texas, hold my beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
good
I saw a
stuff.
funny meme that was like, yeah, that's just Texas. But another funny meme I saw was a picture of just one paw print out front of the door, and it was like a short story about decisions. It was like one paw print. I'm not going out, but no, we're a
It's a
lot
big
more
thing.
prepared than we think we are based off our skills we've built. But at the same time, just how can we prepare a little bit better? We can always
Yeah.
improve that. So,
So one thing, let me roll back around a little bit to it. So day one, I was pretty cool. Day one of the rolling blackouts, I was like, okay.
you were
Day
calm,
day one, I was pretty
collected.
cool. Yeah, I was pretty cool and collective. Day calm on day one. But towards the end, while there was daylight, I was calm. But then it got dark that first day, and then I started to kind of wig out a little bit. I got a little uncomfortable, to tell you the truth. And then day two, I wigged out. Day two was my total wig out day. What is going on? When are we gonna get our electricity back? What is this? What is that? What are we gonna do? Rolling blackouts, this, that. Oh my God, what is going to happen?
Yep.
And then it took me a few hours to really settle back down, because I kept on thinking about all these things that had to happen, that I had to do. These big to-dos that had to happen, that I had to do. Self-imposed, may I add. Self-imposed to-dos. Well, I have to go to work. I have to go do this. I have to go do that. We have to record. We have to edit. We have to all these things. And at the end of the day, when I realized it's okay, I don't have my job is fine. They know what's going on. We'll catch up on the podcast. We have a plan. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's important right now is that we're warm, that we have food, and that's it.
Yeah. It was interesting because, like, this reality I live in that, I'm a salesperson. I have experience in claims, but that's not what I do now. That I have a claims person I can hand that over to who specializes. But however, each one of these clients that I got a call from, they're my clients. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm territorial and I'm overprotective. And so I had to have that talk with myself where I was like, if at the end of the week I'm only there for my clients that have claims and only just take care of them, that's enough. And that was hard because I'm like, I have sales quotas, I have sales quotas. And so, and I really appreciated when I talked to you and you're like, we're just gonna he totally did hide how he was freaking out, Jesse, because she's like, be honest. Because when I talked to you, you were like, Courtney, calm down. We'll figure it out. Don't
It's
worry.
okay.
We'll stack it. Because that point, I was like, we're 3 days behind now. Da, 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 and so it was like, no, let's just set it down for the week, see what we can do. And,
Let's relax.
it's
Yeah. But
just,
that was
and
after my wig out. That's after I was like running around the house like my head was on fire.
yeah, well,
But
I
then
appreciated
but
that
then
because
I
that
was
was
able to calm it
during my,
down.
yeah. So it shows, and it just I also think that because we took a week off the podcast, we came back excited. We came back like, oh, I can't wait to, or if we would have forced it, not listened to the feedback of our environment,
Yeah.
maybe we would have added the stressful anchor to it. And we don't want stress to be attached to our podcast. It's a fun
No.
project,
We're
so,
super excited to be back.
yeah.
Big shout out to Alex Segal and Ford. How great has Ford been throughout this whole thing? Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And they're not even a sponsor of us. They're not giving us no money. But man, the big Ford thing that really caught my eye was the guy who backed up his truck, his new, I think it was a Ford F-150 that had the plug-in, and he was powering houses with his Ford truck.
Yeah, Alex, whenever I saw your Facebook post about yes, if equipped, that pointed out the exact F-150 model. Anyway, I'm getting tongue tied, but yeah, basically when it said yes, it can power a house. Yes, it can. I mean, my jaw was on the ground, and so there it goes. It's going to innovate how we build cars now. If
Jesse and I
one
were literally,
vehicle can power a house, you don't think all the other brands of trucks are right back up behind them on their
no
tail?
joke.
There's definitely.
And then this guy was sharing the power to different houses. So
Yeah.
they were sharing the power. So Jesse says it was a 2021 hybrid. Ford is the
Hybrid F-150.
best in Texas.
I
But
love that. Yeah, and if you want to buy a Ford, definitely go see Alex Segal, please.
yeah,
It's
Jesse
amazing.
this morning was talking about that she wanted a Ford truck now. I was like, okay, well, let's discuss that.
Hey, y'all been really content with your vehicles for many years, so
We have been. But talk about Ford really
I'm not
stepping up
encouraging.
and talk about being
Yeah.
prepared. And this guy who said, let me just go see if I can power up my house with my Ford truck.
Yeah. Like the
Hello.
curiosity and resourcefulness that had to take.
I know, right? Like the guy's just like, I got a brand new Ford in the garage. I wonder if I could plug up the house to it.
Yeah. And you can, man.
And then not only did he plug up his house and power up his house, but he went to the neighbors and was like, hey guys, y'all need some power?
Yeah. Yeah. Like that. It
We
just,
can
I
share.
love humans. I love humans when they are allowed to show their true spirit, and
It was
it just
beautiful.
ripples.
Ford,
Yeah.
number 1 in Texas.
I love it. We totally need to get Ford as a sponsor the way you're going, man.
I was just very excited.
Yeah.
Jesse says, I think it has its own generator,
I think so. Yeah.
So, but it was built into the truck. It was still very genius, and that Ford was able to power up some dude's house.
Yeah.
Y'all better get that guy on television.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say to Ford. Y'all better call that guy up and get him
You
on a
better give
commercial.
that guy a new truck. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess he technically has a brand new truck, but anyway.
You better get him on a commercial ASAP.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that marketing is going more towards like, different companies said it, but it's like the marketing is just showing how they're human to human interaction, you know? Like, I love that instead of this, like, oh, do you need a big, pretty truck to impress people? No, it's not about that. It's about what is this, activate your,
I need a big old truck to power up my house
yeah.
when Texas freezes over.
I mean, everything's bigger in Texas. That just cracks me up.
Oh,
But yeah.
this
So
was a great episode,
now we'll
Courtney.
learn to build our houses right.
Final thoughts, Courtney.
Oh, we got this. We got this. We need a lot less than we desperately think we do, and we're a lot more resourceful and powerful and skillful, more skillful than we feel like we are in those moments of panic. So if you can usually just breathe, calm yourself down, get with your family, get with your team, whatever that means, get on the phone with your friend, your mom, and just regroup yourself. You've got this. You've got this. And I think that's just something we all saw and learned in ourselves is okay, now we know what to do next time. Hopefully it never happens again, but
I,
we know what to do next time.
yeah, for me, I think it's about looking for the unexpected lesson in the unexpected situation.
And the unexpected magic moments that y'all also share.
Unexpected gratitude and unexpected magic moments, unexpected magical moments of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Don't make a big thing because the unexpected is going to happen. That's the one thing you can expect is the unexpected will happen.
Mm-hmm.
How you handle it, it's what will define the situation, whether it's an experience or a catastrophe.
Yeah.
How you handle it will define the situation.
Yeah. And I love it anyway on our excuses episode. So I feel like I need to throw in, there's that millisecond in between when something happens and you react holds all the power. So if you just practice breathing right there. So just
it's a big one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like and share. And remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Force for Growth. And keep being a force for growth.
A force for good.
And a force for greatness.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.